today I'm coming to you guys because I've had something on my mind since it's been on my mind for a while, but it was really affirmed to me that I needed to do a video about this when I went to church on Sunday. Something that my pastor said just really affirmed it for me. And then also, I feel like it was kind of affirmed when I went to see War Room, the movie. And if you have not seen that movie, go see that movie. And then I went to church, and like the very next day I went to church, and the pastor said something along those lines, and then he added something to it that kind of resonated with me and with my spirit about what I was thinking. And I said, you know what, I need to do a video on this. And it's funny because me and my sister were talking, and we were laughing. She's like, you need to do a video on that. And I was, but it was going to be more of a comical video, funny but serious. Then after church, I said, this really needs to be addressed. So today I want to address the women. Some of the things that I may say could apply to men, but I'm addressing the women because I see this way too much, and I see it's almost becoming commonplace for women to kind of have this attitude. And it's the attitude of bitterness. It's the spirit of bitterness and all the little activities that go along with it. And so my question today to my sisters out there in the world is, are you bitter, and what can you do about it? So on Facebook, I posted a few days ago a quote by my pastor, Pastor Robbie at Celebration Church. And he said, Celebration Church, Columbia. Hey. He said, there's nothing more sad than to be angry and bitter at your own funeral. And that hit me because I was like, oh, it's a lot of angry women walking around here. I have a lot of angry sisters walking around here. They bitter, they mad. A lot of them mad at ex-boyfriends, mad at ex-husbands, mad at themselves, mad at their mama for what she didn't do, mad at their daddy for what he didn't do. They're angry. Why? And are they going to die with that anger inside them? He mentioned a quote, and he said the quote was, some people die at 25, but aren't buried until they're 75. And he's preaching, and he's just hitting me with these lefts and rights, and I'm saying, whoa, I got some sisters out there in the world that this is true about. And they don't even know it. Because they got friends around them that won't even tell them. Baby girl, you bitter. You mad, you angry. And it looks terrible on you. So I said, okay, what can I do? I'm going to put out a video. I'm going to challenge my sisters to look at themselves and ask themselves if this applies to them. And if it does, if it hits you a little bit, or if you like, I do that, but I ain't bitter. She don't know what she's talking about. She ain't no therapist. And I'm not. I'm not a therapist. I'm just somebody who hears. I'm somebody that's moving through life. I'm happy with where I'm at. And I've done a lot of growing. And that growth took a lot of experience. And I've learned from the experience of others and myself. And I'm just sharing what I know. But if it makes you feel some kind of way, you might want to examine yourself. I don't care if you're a Christian or not. If this applies, you need to examine yourself and maybe make some changes. So one thing I see a lot of my sisters out there doing that is a supreme sign of bitterness, and I see it all the time. They're fighting with their former flames, exes, people they haven't been with in years, about things that are truly irrelevant because they can't have it their way. When someone disagreeing with you or not bowing down to how you want things done gives you the motivation to try to destroy them, to try to tear them down. I see sisters out here using their children that they did not create by themselves against the fathers. You have fathers that want to be in their kids' life but can't, because the mother is so busy knocking him down every chance that she gets. And she'll use the kids. She'll go to his family and talk bad about him. He ain't doing this. He ain't doing that. Why are you going to his mama? Have you tried going to God? Because he's a grown man. And if he's not doing it, his mama can't make him do it. But you angry. So you want to tear him down to anybody that'll listen. I'm not addressing his behavior, what he does and what he does not do. Let's address your behavior. I have sisters out there that's so mad at their ex that they will do anything to make him look bad. They will lie on him. They will misuse the courts to bully him, to get their way, to prove that they are in a position of authority and that he better not challenge them. Oh, don't play. I've heard too many women. Oh, you better not play with me. I mean, the attitude is real. It's real. Don't play with me. I'm not the one. I mean, just talking to these men crazy. That's the man you chose to have kids with. Get married to. Yeah, you divorced from him now, but that doesn't put you in a position of authority to run his life. To mistreat him. Whether he's doing the things that you feel he should do or not. Why do you let your emotion of anger and disappointment rule how you treat people? That's you're bitter. You so angry that you have no control over your own emotions. Sisters, we got to do better. We got to do better. For real. Ain't no man gonna want to come around and see his kid when you sitting there talking to him crazy. Every time that he want to come see his kid, he got to deal with you blessing him out over the phone. You know what? No, I don't want to come over either because it's a headache I don't want to deal with. And that don't have anything to do with the love that I have for my child. Well, if you love your child, you go through anything. I shouldn't have to just because we're done. We fall apart and now I'm a bad father. Come on. I was golden when we were together. But now I ain't nothing because I ain't do what you wanted me to do. And now you disappointed. Stop it, man. We got daughters and sons out here that need their fathers. You wonder why your kid growing up doing certain things. Because you made it harder for them. When you sitting there talking to your girlfriends about him, you're like, well, I ain't never talked bad about my kid father in front of my child. Yeah, but you did it in the next room. Like they can't hear you. Stop. I'm sick of it. It's a little bit of a rant video, whatever. It needs to be addressed. It's ridiculous, man. You sitting there talking about how he ain't nothing to your girlfriend in the next room. Like that little boy can't hear you. Like that little girl can't hear you. She's half of that man. And if you're telling her, whether it's by her overhearing or by you saying it directly in front of her, because we got them mamas out there too. If you're saying these kind of things and your child is hearing that, they identify themselves with both of you. Stop it. If you're having issues co-parenting with the father, go get professional help. There's some things that we just don't know how to do, right? When relationships fall apart, we don't necessarily know how to be the best at co-parenting. They have classes out there. There's books for that teach you how to get along and put the best interest of the child to the forefront and not what you think the best interest is, because that's the other thing. The next thing is you feel the need to be the authoritarian. You're the authority on everything. Well, she need this or he need that, and you need to do this. And if you don't do this, I'm going to take you to court, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. Stop it. Kill that noise. You're not the authority. God is. And half of y'all swear to be Christians. Swear y'all be at church. Go right home and cuss your baby daddy out. That term I don't like. Go right home and cuss the father of your children out. I don't care if you want to call him a father. Oh, he don't do this, he don't do that. Look, if we were to dissect what you do as a mother, people could be like, she's not a good mom. But y'all go right home and will read him from here to China and tell him how he's not about nothing. Because you're the authority on what it means to be a good parent. Because the child is with you and not him. We all know some mothers out there who have custody of their kids, and that's not necessarily the best thing for the child. I know a few. And I think if it wasn't for grandmothers, aunts, cousins, that some of these kids wouldn't be making it. So just because you're the one who has custody of the children doesn't make you a great parent. Stop it. Stop it. And it doesn't make you the authority over how this man should be a father. If you don't like something that he's doing, trust me, I'm sure that he can come up with probably twice as many things that he doesn't like that you're doing. It kills me how many men I meet who tell me that they've been divorced and the ridiculous things that these women try to put in the divorce. Oh, you can't have no other women around my kid unless it's the wife. Well, at what point is he supposed to know that he wants to make her his wife? Do he marry her and then introduce her to y'all kids and she hates them and mistreats them? Really? So jealous. You want to control what he do after y'all done. It blows me. Now, do I understand that you don't want any random female just in and out the door, in and out the door? Yeah, I get that. I understand that. But I've actually read divorce papers where people have said nobody to be at the house past 8:30 when the kids are there. Yeah, bro, I wouldn't sign that either. Fight on that. Because you're trying to control my life. But then you want to say, well, he don't come get his kids. And you make it real hard. Because he can't live his life. He's a human. He was a person before he met you. Now, do I understand that there's going to be things that y'all have to come to agreements on? Yeah. For the benefit of the children? Yeah. But come on now. Y'all want to be the authority on everything. This bitterness, this anger, this jealousy has got to stop. It's another sign of that bitterness. You got to be the authority. You want to be in control. Stop. Another sign of are you bitter is when you hear about your ex, former flame, or somebody he's dealing with. When you hear about something good happening to them, you become jealous. How you express that jealousy can come in many different forms. Because see, not all women are overtly bitter. Not all women are going to be like, oh, I can't stand him. Da, 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 da. They be like, you got the ones be like, yeah, I'm happy for you and everything else. But then they turn right around and try to do something to throw a snag in what he got going for himself. You know, I dated a guy, a quick story. I dated a guy that many years ago, my goodness, I was like 22. 23. And he was like 29, and he had been married to his high school sweetheart. They got married at 18, which, you know, but they got married and then they got divorced when they were around 26 or 27. So he had been divorced around 3 years when I met him. And I remember they had 2 small children, one that was like 5 and one that was like 3. And I remember we wanted to take the kids to the fair. And you know, I had never met her. This was going to be my first time meeting his kids. And you know, she wants to talk to me. Fine, that's cool. You know, whatever. And I remember talking to her. And she was in a relationship. She had been in a relationship for a couple years, and you know, so she's like, "Oh, okay, you know, how did you guys meet?" And I was just kind of like, you know, we happened to meet at church. We met at church. Yeah. She was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I know he's been going to church." I mean, I don't know him to be going to church like that. And I'm thinking to myself like, now I'm 22, but I'm already thinking to myself like, okay, you don't know, you never knew him to go to church like that, to be that spiritual, but that's something new for him, is what she was saying. And I was like, well, you know, people grow, they change, you know, but I'm thinking to myself like, okay, that's the first thing that she done said to hate on this man, but I'm gonna let it ride, because maybe she just, you know, maybe she just saying, you know, but I'm thinking this woman's almost 30 also. So then she's like, well, you know, I don't have a problem with you being around my kids. Cause you know, I'm happy for him and all that he done found himself a relationship. That's just how she said it. And I was just kind of like, no, you're not. Like, I really had to stop myself from saying, no, you ain't. I can tell in your voice that you're not happy. But so then we get the kids. We go to the fair. He goes home. I go home. First, quick little 2 hours, take the kids to the fair, ride some rides and some popcorn. Didn't want it to be too crazy. Just like, hey, this is Dad's friend. She has a kid. We going to the fair. Just a good outing. Having a good time, because he and I, we were friends. We met in a church group. We decided to maybe try to see if we could date. Met his kids. They had a blast. I had a blast. He calls me the next day, practically in tears. I said, what's wrong? He's like, I dropped my son and my daughter off yesterday. His son was the one that was like 6. He said, you know, my son calls me this morning from school. He's at the office. They say he's crying uncontrollably. I had to go up to the school, and he tells me that his mom said that she's going to, because he had, apparently little boy told his mom they had so much fun. He really liked Miss Rose. He thought I was pretty and I was nice. And I bought him this drink that he really wanted and his ice cream. And he was just so happy. And he's been a 6-year-old and he's sharing with his mom. She got so mad. She told him, you're not going with your dad and that B word no more. So stop talking to me about it, and popped him in the mouth. This is what we do to our kids when we're bitter at our ex. And we can hide that from everybody else. See, her friends don't know that she did that to her child. Her friends don't know that her 6-year-old is afraid to talk to her about what goes on at his dad's house, unless it's to report to her what daddy doing. But he couldn't express any joy about the time he spent with his father. And he was so scared that he called his dad the next day at school. And this man said, I don't know what to do. I got to go to court to now try to fight for my son and my daughter, because this is crazy. I never thought she would do nothing like this. Stop it, sisters. Stop it. This is not something that Black women do. This is not something that only white women do, Asian, Hispanic. This is something that I have seen no matter the socioeconomic level, no matter the race or ethnicity, the culture. This is something that I have seen women do. I have seen women that are very wealthy use lawyers in courts. These are doctors and attorneys. These women have educations, and they have just drugged their husbands through the mud. The allegations that women make when they're about to get divorced from a man, that stems in jealousy and bitterness and the wanting and the desire to have control and to just, ooh, I'm going to show him. They've sat up here and done things like accuse men of sexually abusing their children, accuse men of abusing them or their children physically when they know it's not true, so that they can seem like the victim to everybody around them. I can honestly say multiple men that I have met over the course of the 36 years that I have been on this earth and been able to meet people. I've seen this happen and be untrue almost 100% of the time. I think one time, and the man said, yeah, I slapped her. I did. I sure did. I slapped her, and I was wrong, no matter the reason. I know what the reason was, but he was still wrong. One time. All these other times is, oh, he beat our kids, he did this, he did that. They lying. But they want to be the victim. But it's a way of controlling. We got to do better, women, because our children deserve better. The fathers of our children deserve better. Okay, y'all didn't work out. Get over it, for real. Get over it, for real. You sitting up here talking about something that happened 5-6 years ago. Y'all ain't been together in 5-6 years. I mean, I know of a situation personally that, it's been like 12 years? And she's still angry? 12. You riding up in front of people's house talking to them crazy, acting a fool in their neighborhood. You look dumb. Your friends not telling you this. They like, yeah, girl, cuss him. You better do this. Girl, I would tell that fool this, that, and the third. That is not a friend. That is not, none of your friends would sit up here and egg you on like that. If you my friend and you talking about something that you and Ray went through 5 years ago, let it be 2 years ago. I'm be looking at you like, okay, girl, he did this and he did. I'm like, why are you still talking about that? You sound angry. You sound upset. You not over it? Maybe you should talk to a counselor to work through your emotions. Because girl, Ray done moved on. And Ray doing good. And then a lot of y'all females, y'all go on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Y'all use this social media to e-stalk these men, they families, they girlfriends. Stop it, man. Stop it. This is just ridiculous. Like, and you know what? I'm not even talking about the 18-year-olds. I see grown women doing this. Stop it. Get your heart right. Get your mind right. Like, the best thing that you can do, I've heard this quote before and I don't really like it. I understand what it's trying to say, but I don't care for what it was saying. It says the best revenge is to do better. Forget revenge, okay? The best thing for you is to do better in your life for you. Doing better does not mean that, okay, I've moved on to this man and he's better than you. That's jealousy. Because now you're bitter because you're comparing what you have now to what he was. You needed to go through what you went through with him because it made you grow and it made him grow. And now the man that you're with now, you might not have been ready for. Period. He could be he's a totally different man. Don't make him better. Don't make him worse. But whatever development you needed in your former situation, you needed it clearly. And now you're here. So the best thing that you can do is just move on. You don't need revenge. Who's to say that this man is better than that man? It's interesting that you'll say that because you'll be singing this man praise. Oh, he better, he this, he that. And then he'll do something. And then now what you going to do? Because you done put him on a pedestal. You didn't say, oh, he all of this. And he done popped you in your mouth. Now what? Stop it. There's no need to compare Mr. New Guy to Mr. Old Guy. We had what we had. It's over. Stop being angry about it. Stop being bitter about it. Let it go. If you got kids with that person, do what's best for the kids and not just what's best in your opinion. You are not the authority. If y'all can't come to an agreement about what's best, go get professional help so that you can come to an agreement. Period. Do what you're supposed to do. Don't sit up here and be telling these men, oh, well, you supposed to bring the kids home on Sunday at 5:30, but you were supposed to drop them off on Friday at 4:30, but they ain't get there till 9 o'clock at night. But he supposed to let that pass. Oh, it's all good. But when he late, you tell him, you keep being late, I'm going to hold you in contempt. You want to sit here and quote all the divorce decree. You want to sit here and quote all the child support order. But you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. But he let it ride. Because, see, I see these guys all the time. They're the nice guy. They let it ride. They don't call. Guys don't tend to call the mothers of their children out on everything that they could. But then when he don't do what y'all want him to do, oh, well, we got to go to court. Oh, they bought a house together. Oh, and he haven't done this. Oh, well then, okay, well, we going to court. Your child 1 month from 18, and you trying to go get the child support increase. Stop it. Stop being the victim. Stop being bitter. Stop being angry. Stop holding on to the venom of the past. Let it go. That's somebody you once loved. It's over. Let it go. If y'all don't have any kids, move on. Stop talking about it. I have no idea. I can't understand how you can not have any ties with a person outside of the fact that you was cool, like y'all was together, and maybe you was cool with their family when y'all was together and whatever, and you can't seem to move on. I don't understand that. Let it go. Stop talking. I don't care if y'all was together for 15 years. Let it go. Move on. Move on. And don't be nasty about it. Stop it. This is something, clearly y'all can tell, this is something that bothers me. It does. It bothers me. I have brothers. I'm a woman. I'm not with, I have a son by somebody I'm not with. I know the challenges that we face as women to have a relationship with people that we may have been through things with. But the good thing is, you are in control of yourself. Period. Be in control of you. Sometimes there is a blessing in just moving on. I had to pay for this for our kid. I had to pay for that. Congratulations, you were a mother. And he ain't helped. Congratulations, you were a mother. You know how many women out here that have kids and their husbands have been killed in combat? Or their husbands have just died, heart attacks, 36 years old. I have a friend passed, 36 years old, heart condition, 2 kids. Some of y'all not getting help because the help that y'all could be getting ain't coming in the form that you wanted. Well, he not paying this, and I ain't finna sit up here and do this and that. So therefore, you deny all help to yourself. He could be around helping you, but he ain't got the financial means to pay. So then you want to deny all help. Well, you could at least babysit your kids. Kill that noise. He's watching his children same way you watch them when they're with you. He's being a father. He's sitting there reading to them. But because it doesn't come in the way that you want it to come, you'd rather reject it all because you angry. You bitter. Because it ain't come how you want it to come. Because, of course, you're the authority on all of this. You're the authority on how he should be a father. And your girls, they just egg you on. Girl, yeah, he ain't doing this. He ain't doing that. Them ain't your friends. That's not a friend. It's not a friend. And guess what? Real talk. When you get off the phone with them, they laugh at you. They're like, You know what they do? They go talk to their man about your situation. You know, she say he still ain't doing this, that, and the third. They argue, fight all the time. But I mean, I do think she should let him see his kids, though. I think that's a bit shady. Yep. A lot of us, if we don't learn to let things go, we are going to be bitter, buried, bitter, deathbed, bitter, angry, resentment just running all up and through us. Stop it. I challenge my sisters, stop it. You might not agree with it. I don't care. I see it too much. I see it too much. I'm not addressing what the men do and don't do. I'm addressing what we as women do. I see us do too much. It becomes so commonplace. My baby. It ain't your baby. Took two of y'all. And just because he ain't taking care of that child how you want him to, does not exclude him. Stop. Stop. I just want to challenge the sisters out there. If you walking around with any resentment towards your past, any anger, just really examine yourself. Every relationship you've been through, I don't care who's with, former flame, ex-husband, ex-boyfriend, child's father, whatever. Examine yourself. Ask yourself, am I holding on to anything? Am I fighting battles that I should have let go? Off of principle, off of the fact that I felt like I'm the authority and I was done wrong. Off of the fact that I feel like they didn't do what they were supposed to do. Maybe they didn't. But is this something that I can let go and move on, be free, and be happy? If I was to drop this weight, could I soar? Could I really receive the things in life that God has for me? Because some of y'all walking around with this weight and you can't get to the blessing that God got for you because it's up there. But you will never make it up there because the weight that you carrying keeps you down here. And I just want y'all to succeed. And the only way to do that is to be happy and free of that weight. You cannot receive holding on to something from the past. You can't receive the blessing that's coming to you. You can't. I've met some phenomenal women. Met a woman say, well, you know what? He owed me $20,000 for past child support and medical expenses. But you know what? I let it go. I didn't want it. I was good. I had moved on. So I let it go. I forgave that. I was like, yeah, wrote it off and was like, peace. I wish you the best. And I'm like, you know what? That woman right there. That woman right there. That's a woman. Not because she just wrote off this money, but because she realized that it was holding her back. I'm not saying be like, oh, I don't need no child support from you. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying don't expect this person to help. But what I'm saying is, let me make this clear. She did it because their kids were already grown. She was like, look, our kids are grown. Whatever. I'm good. I don't need that. They made it. So I'm not saying don't expect that parent to help. But what I'm saying is, if you're walking around with baggage, that if you let it go, you could soar. How about you let it go? Don't blame your weight that you're carrying around on principle. When the reality is that what's in that bag is not principle. It's bitterness, it's anger, it's disappointment, it's resentment. And it's, I'm going to hold you to this until, and in the minute that they satisfy that, you're going to find something else to hold them to. Stop it. Your daughters need their father. Your sons need their father. They need the relationship more than they need the money. They need the love, the time, the attention, more than they need the money, more than they need you to fight for the principle that they were supposed to do this and they did it. They love to see their parents able to sit in the same room together and hold a conversation because you're the two people that they love the most. and they hate to be divided. When you make that relationship more contentious than when it has to be, that hurts them children. Even when they become adults, it hurts. It hurts. And if you're a child of divorce, if you're a child of separation, then you understand where I'm coming from. Do not repeat the cycle. Learn a way to get along. Stop the bitterness, sister. Stop the anger. Stop the resentment. Let it go for you. I'm not talking about that dude. For you. I'm asking you to do this for you. I don't want to see any of my sisters being buried, bitter and angry. I don't. It hurts me. It hurts me when I've been in relationships and I've seen another woman do something towards the guy that I was dating. I don't get angry. I feel bad for him. Cause I'm like, girl, he done moved on. He with me now. So I know he done moved on. And a lot of times they'll be in a relationship or not. I mean, but most of the times they were. And they was doing this stuff and I was like, damn. Man, she bitter. I feel bad for her. I'm going to pray for her. And that's real. That's real. I would seriously pray for them. Because I can't imagine what that must be like to literally carry that around for however long. I can't imagine that. So, for my sisters, I send you my love. I'm praying for you all. If any of this applies to you, don't be mad. Be ready to make a change in yourself. Be happy that now you're able to identify what's going on. Go get some help. Go buy a self-help book. Start working on yourself. Start learning how to let go. Iyanla Vanzant got a lot of really good books. She do. T.D. Jakes. I mean, there's so many people out there, honestly, that you could go buy one of their books and start reading. Invest in yourself. Invest in your spirit. Invest in becoming a better woman. Walking around with anger, resentment, trying to prove to somebody that you could do this to them, or you watch me, I can do this. It's a waste of your time. It is. It's a waste of your time. I'm praying for you all. I wish you the best. God bless you. Sorry about the 40-minute rant, but not sorry. Because somebody's going to watch this through. And it's going to help somebody. And if it helps one person, to God be the glory. So, peace, my sisters.